The past few weeks have been highly unusual, to say the least. I think for me it's been kind of a reset or a reassessment of my life and just really taking it as a beginning of some new things. So I think this is the perfect time to get into some new habits. And since I'm all about really trying to find a more healthy lifestyle all the time, always tweaking, always optimizing a few things that can help me have a better life and to feel better, I'm all for it. Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Freya Casey, also known as Healthy Minimalist Mom. I want to talk about some healthy habits you can start getting into right now. So the first one, let's dive right into it, is to get out into nature more. For me, it just puts me into awe when I go out in the forest and I see nature. I'm so in awe of how perfectly everything works together. It just puts everything in perspective for me, and I just see how unimportant some of the things that I sweat are, and to where I really tell myself, okay, it's not that terrible. I think everything is going to work out to its best. It feels like I'm close to God. I have this one peak where I go up to when I really have to answer some questions that I just can't find an answer to, like, just decisions and like, what should I do? What would be best? And whenever I'm on that peak, I feel like God is literally speaking to me and speaking to my heart, and I feel that everything will be okay. I will be blessed. Everything will work out, and it just feels so good when I go up on that peak. I can overlook the entire area. It looks beautiful, and it just puts me at ease, and it's like, wow, if God made all this, surely He will take care of all the things that I worry about right now. And it really keeps me from worrying, just seeing nature and just seeing the beauty around me. It makes me appreciate everything around me so much. The next thing is to prioritize sleep. I know a lot of us, it's hard in the evening sometimes to find an end. We are busy, or we get hooked on some show, or we have just so much work to do and we're loading the dishwasher, we're trying to clean up the kitchen as busy moms, of course. And then it's sometimes hard to get to bed at a decent time. For me, I'm a natural early bird. So since I know that I will wake up early, it doesn't matter what time I go to bed. If I go to bed at 2 a.m., I'll still wake up really early, like at 8 a.m. or way before that. So for me, it's really important to try to go to bed quite early. So by 10 or so, usually even earlier than that, depending on, if there's school the next day or not. I just know I will wake up early. And when I go to bed early, knowing that I need a good 7 to 8 hours of sleep for me personally, and I don't know, there's no way I can tell myself I can do on less sleep. I have done on less, of course, when kids are really small and they don't sleep through the night yet, you have to do on less. But if you can at all have any say in, if you can decide how long you're going to sleep, you need to make sure you get enough sleep so you can work at your best. The truth is that your brain needs the time to repair, to move things from short-term memory to long-term memory. Your body needs that time to recuperate, to repair cells, and to gain more energy again. And you're gonna feel so different if you consistently get enough sleep. If you don't get enough sleep over a long period of time, it might really have some negative effects on your health. And another thing that I do to really put my sleep way up there on the priority list is I really try to make my bed the best place ever. It's like the best place on earth is my bed. I have the perfect topper. I have the perfect sheets that I love so much, natural materials, organic cotton. And it just feels good on my skin, and it feels good. I don't get too hot. I don't get too cold. And that really helps. I also black out the room. I have shutters on the bedroom window, and just that darkness helps me sleep. I also have a white noise app. I don't usually need it at home, but whenever I'm away and I'm traveling, when there's noise that bothers me, that's kind of a irregular noise, I turn on that white noise app, and it really helps me to sleep more calmly. Usually there's maybe some unusual noises. I can highly recommend an app like that. Sometimes we have neighbors that decided to have a barbecue party and they go on late into the night. And when I turn on that app, it really helps me drown out that noise so I can actually sleep. Another thing, when you get up in the morning, I don't know why a lot of people do this, don't make your bed right away after you get out of your bed, because there's a lot of moisture in your mattress and your bedding. What I do, I just open up the bed, take the blanket off, and usually I even open up the window. I live in Germany, so it's like even in the summer, in the morning it's crisp and it's fresh air. I just hang it out the window just a little bit, let it air out for about 10 minutes or so while I go to the bathroom, wash my face and all that stuff. And then I make my bed. And sometimes I even let it air out the entire day. I just put my blanket somewhere else. I put it to the side and just let it air out and let that, all the moisture in the mattresses, I just let it air out. And I feel it makes a difference because I know there's not a bunch of mites breeding in my mattress. It's kind of a gross thought. I don't like little spider kind of like creatures, like maybe millions of them being in my bedding. And so if you let it dry out, that really helps the climate. Another really important thing is to take care of your gut. Your gut, that is where the majority of your health and your immune system sits. Especially now, we want to really make sure we keep our health at its best. And the truth is that your gut is just doing a lot. Your gut and your brain, they're very tightly connected, and there have been scientific studies that prove that whatever goes on in your butt, that biome, that microbiome, it totally can affect your mood and your brain health. And you could have depression because of something that's going on in your gut. That's kind of crazy. So I always think of all these billions and billions of little bitty bacteria and creatures that live inside of my body that I need. I depend on them to live. Otherwise, I could not digest food. My body could not take out the nutrients that it needs out of the food. It's like the perfect symbiosis, but I need to take good care of those little creatures that live inside my body. And so I eat probiotics. I make my own sauerkraut. I make my own kefir, and I eat prebiotics. It's the foods for the probiotics. A lot of green leafy vegetables, lots of fiber. They're really good. Those little creatures like those. So anytime you take antibiotics, you just kill off that whole balance. And so I think anybody should only take antibiotics if it's absolutely necessary, if there's absolutely no way around it. If it's a matter of life and death, okay, you can take antibiotics, but not because of a bladder infection. That is something that I feel it's not a major thing, but killing off your microbiome in your gut and to really decimate the population, that could really harm your health and your balance, and everything could be off balance all of a sudden. It could be years and years before you get it back. So yes, take care of your gut and all those little creatures. And the next thing that adds on to that is skip the sugar. I made some videos last year where I went on a 30-day sugar detox. It went on a lot longer than that. I have pretty much been off sugar since last year, September. Now, just to be honest, I do have a little bit of sugar every once in a while, but when I'm looking at the majority of the time, I cut out sugar. I do not add any sugar to any tea, to any coffee, to my granola that I make homemade. Occasionally I will just add a little bit of maple syrup, but it's so little because I'm so sensitive to sweet taste now, because I have gotten used to not having that sweet punch. So a little bit of sweetness goes a long way nowadays, and that's great because I know that the less sugar I put in my body, the better it is. My blood sugar is so much more balanced. I don't have those crashes where I'm just hangry. Haven't had that in months. So focusing on healthy fats rather than sugar has helped me a lot. The next thing that has made a big difference in my life is learning to say no. I used to be such a people pleaser. I wanted to be liked by everyone. I wanted to please everyone. I wanted to do everything right. And this is definitely a muscle you can train. If I can train it, you can train it, because I used to be so bad. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to do everything like people would admire me or something. And now I'm at the point where it's like, wow, feeling like saying no actually feels really good, and to actually stand up for what I believe in, to stand up for things that I really want to do, and not just to be pushed into doing something because I'm too weak to say no. It feels so liberating. It feels like I can be myself a lot more. I know how hard it is sometimes to say no, especially, you want to help others and you don't want them to think that you're too lazy or you're just kind of too selfish to help. But, I think other people understand. There's so much more understanding than you might guess. And if you can just say, No, I just don't have the capacity for that. And that doesn't mean nobody expects you to be at 100% capacity all the time. Actually, my goal is to never be at 100% capacity, to really be at 50%, and then I'll leave all that other 50% for just being free to do whatever and to be spontaneous and to be creative. I need that space to be more creative. I do need to be pushed also, but I do push myself. And that feels so much better when I push myself rather than everything from outside and all the people from outside pushing me. Nobody wants to push you, but if you let them, they will. It's almost like you have to train other people to respect those boundaries that you give them. And if you never give them boundaries, and if you always keep saying yes to anything and everything anybody wants from you, it's going to be really hard to train people away from that, and they're going to just keep asking you. So keep your boundaries and say no. I've been saying no to almost everything, and my motto is less but better. I do less stuff, I own less stuff, but better quality, and that just makes me more happy. And the next thing, of course, is smile. This is actually really important for me. Smiling has made a big difference. I can't believe how many times I go to a store or I go outside or I interact with people and they don't have a friendly face. They kind of have a just kind of frowny, and you can tell that they're not happy right now. And even if I weren't happy right now, I don't know what, I trained myself so much to whenever I talk with someone else, I try to just radiate a smile. I just put a smile on just when I talk to a cashier, when I see someone stressed, and especially even when someone is just really, just stressed and you can tell they're not even friendly toward me. Just when I give them a smile, and I don't get stressed also, but I try to acknowledge them as a person and try to acknowledge that they're not feeling good right now, that they may be stressed and maybe even angry. Just acknowledging that just softens people up so much. I've experienced it so many times by now. But even if they don't, for me, just putting on a smile changes me. It changes what I feel. It changes my perception of things. So as soon as I get into this frowny face, it's kind of weird. It triggers something in my brain that tells my whole body, oh, not good, bad, stress. But as soon as I put on a smile and I soften my facial features and I loosen up my forehead, I don't get all frowny. I try to just put that smile on me and in me, everything changes. My breath changes, my posture changes, and the tension in my neck goes away. So smiling has profoundly changed how I go through the day. I have a big chalkboard thing right in our entranceway, and I just this week wrote on it, it's in German. It's like, take a smile with you. And I tell my daughter too, it's like, so whenever we leave the house or whenever someone leaves the house who has visited us, of course, lately nobody has visited us, but whenever someone leaves the house, we want to remember to take a smile with us. And even when we come into the house, we want to make sure we take a smile with us and give someone a smile. It can really make a difference. And lastly, and this has really helped me so much overall to always want to look forward to the next day, is to have a mission, to have a project. I have those Pinterest boards that I save images on, and every night I have the habit, every night I go to bed and before I fall asleep, I go through my mind and I ask myself like, okay, what are all the positive things that I have right now? Even if it's been a really crappy day, I tell myself like, oh wow, I got a wonderful bed. Believe me, I'm so thankful for my bed. It's the best thing. After days of work and putting kids into bed and stuff, it's like, oh, I have a bed. That is awesome. I'm very grateful for that. And I have a roof and I have a house. I am so grateful for my house. I'm so grateful for my family. I'm so grateful for, what I'm allowed to do every day, my job. It's the best thing ever. And I can work from home. I'm so grateful for a lot of things. And a lot of times it's the small things that are extremely important. It's not, it's not the device that I just bought today or like that I got an Apple Watch. What really makes me happy is the small things. It's really it's like somebody called me today and I have a friend, or I just had this wonderful moment with my daughter today. That's what's so valuable. And those are the moments that are just worth so much more than anything else in the world. And I do the same thing when I wake up. I'm very excited because I have like a mission, I have a project, I have something to be grateful for, I have something to work toward. Like right now, I'm really on this mindset of minimizing my house, make everything more simple, less stuff, but better stuff, and getting into this mindset of like just constantly improving my home so I feel even better every day in my home, but at the same time being very happy with what I have, but having this gratefulness for like, wow, but I have this opportunity to do something with my home to where, I can make it even more into what I ever wanted, and I can change, my needs change all the time, but I can actually do whatever I want to do. And I'm so excited to get onto my projects. We're going to have a huge bathroom remodel here soon. I'm so excited right now. We've been wanting it for years, and finally it's happening. We have this really old bathroom. That's why I've never shown it to anyone on video. It's just so old. And now in the next few weeks, we're going to actually get started. It's going to be so much work. It's going to be so much dirt, but it's like, wow, now I can dream. And something to dream about, that's what we need. We need something to dream about, something to work toward. We're happy where we're at. That's where we should be. We shouldn't always like more and more and more. But the human mind the humans are really made for wanting to better themselves. And, it doesn't mean it's not good now, but I can always still better myself. And as my life changes, my needs change, my desires change. Sometimes years ago, there were things that I wanted that were very material, but now I don't even want those things anymore. Now it's just like, I just want to stay home and I want to just focus on my home. So these are the things that I think have helped me a lot, and I challenge you, pick something, get into some good habits that are healthy, that are going to benefit you so much for the next years of your life. And especially when you get older, I'm in my mid-40s now, and I can tell that it's so important to take care of my body, my mind, my spirit, because I plan on being here for a lot longer. So let me know in the comments if you have anything to add to this list. I probably could go on for hours. I have so many habits that I've gotten into that like 10 years ago, I was not the same person. I was the same person, but my mindset has changed so much. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you liked the video, and come back for more videos on decluttering, minimalism, simple lifestyle, and staying healthy. Have a great day, be blessed, and always stay healthy.